If you are fortunate enough to be elected this time, what would you do differently than what you did last time?
Well, I would start differently, actually. You know, the start I had last time was a little rough. You know, I think there was a surprise election in the eyes of many, and you know, I didn't necessarily get a particularly warm welcome. And we didn't really jump into kind of a strategic planning exercise right off the top that kind of put council together early on. But we eventually got there. I think we all kind of grew into our roles, and we made some significant progress. But I would start right off the top with not only a discussion with individual members of council, but with council as a whole in terms of assessing our strategic plan as it sits today. Are we all on board for that direction right now? Are we on the same page? And let's have a good beginning so that we can clear up any misconceptions or changes that people want to make in terms of that strategic direction, and then develop a work plan for the next 4 years. I think a better start will lead to a better result.
You said you didn't get exactly a warm welcome. How do you get a warm welcome? I mean, it's maybe going to be less of a surprise if you win, but it's certainly not a done deal
no.
by a long stretch. So.
Right. No, I mean, I have active, ongoing relationships with most members of council. I actually have nurtured those over many years. It's not that we had a bad relationship. The relationship was, I think, pretty sound. But you know what? If you don't start off with a good, solid strategic plan right from the very beginning, there's some floundering that goes on. So I think I don't know if it was a bad reception on me personally, but it was a bad reception in terms of the direction that we were ready to take on. I have great relationships with all members of council. I tend not to have enemies, save and except a few. You know, a collaborative nature I have, and that's kind of the way I've worked in all of the places that I've performed, whether it was at the Port Authority or at the Canadian Urban Institute. All of my kind of leadership roles have all been collaborative, and I think you can track back to all of those folks and ask them the same question, and you'll find that we've made great progress working together.
Are you prepared to raise property taxes if necessary, as mayor?
We'll do what's necessary. I think what's necessary is that we provide value for money. You know, that's the bottom line for most taxpayers. I think taxpayers want to know that the money that's being collected is being used properly and apportioned to areas that have need. So we have services that we have to deliver, but we also have a city to maintain. And so we'll do what we need to do to make sure that we maintain value. You know what, this dates back to almost 1995 when we actually set out the first waterfront plan that really included not only the lands that we've since purchased, which I think was a wise decision to make. I think ownership was, land banking is a smart thing for the city to do. But it also included the CN rail yards, and I think that's still a clear and present opportunity that needs focus. So my proposal will be, and has been, that we create a waterfront development corporation, not unlike what Toronto has done in terms of how they've managed to pull together the resources to actually develop their waterfront. Halifax has done the same, where you get three-party funding from federal, provincial, and municipal governments, and create a corporation that can then focus on the future development of the entire space. But in terms of potential uses, I mean, residential is a given. I think it's a mix of residential, commercial, local commercial, and entertainment, recreational uses that can add value to the greater part of our city. And I think having that happen on the waterfront, in the absence of rail lines being there, will add, will really kind of transform the focus of our.
How optimistic are you that those rail yards can be moved?
Actually, more optimistic now than ever. In the course of some of the changes that are happening in other parts of the Burlington Street, there are emerging opportunities, and you know what, Stelco, sadly we could all say is having a struggle, and I think, or not Stelco, but U.S. Steel is having its struggles, but at the same time, it provides opportunities where we may be able to divert rail lines to another location a little bit more easily than we could have in the past. There might be more space freeing up that would be useful. So I'm more optimistic than ever. But what it really needs and has never had is focus. We can't rely on city staff and as part of their day-to-day duties with a whole range of things that they're doing on a day-to-day in public works or other places, to provide the kind of focus that it's going to require to actually make dedicated changes that will bring this to fruition. So I think a focused waterfront development corporation populated by experienced professional folks can really bring this to fruition.
Well, how do you answer criticisms from LRT advocates particularly that you're sending a mixed message after we've been trying to have everyone drawing in the same direction for almost 2 years?
Well, you say that, but if the vote were to happen today, I can assure you that it would not be a positive support vote for LRT.
You're
That's
talking
the problem.
a referendum.
No, I'm talking about council. They're not having a vote today, but if they had the vote today, based on the discussions that I've had with the majority of councils, this would not pass. And so sometimes you have to step back to go forward. So my approach has been, you know what, we need to reset this thing. You can't leave a dearth of information with the people in the community at large and then expect that they understand what it is you're talking about and all the expectations that come with it. This is a major investment in the city of Hamilton. They don't understand it in the burbs and even on the mountain actually. They're going, why is this of value to me? All the answers are there, but they haven't had the benefit of seeing that often enough for them to be able to appreciate and understand it. My bet is that when they see the whole picture, LRT wins at the end of the day because the return on investment is significant.
What's the timeline for that? What are you envisioning?
I'm thinking 6, 7 months, something like that. And in the course of the time that we're taking to work on LRT, I think that's a reasonable time frame to step back a little bit, take a little extra time, and make sure we get it right. I know for sure that the province is waiting for an answer from Hamilton, a clear answer from Hamilton. So they're getting the same mixed messages that I'm getting from council, notwithstanding the council position. If it were to come to a vote today, it wouldn't be that. But it has to be 100% funding, and that's where the province needs to step up and make good on their commitment. Clearly, Hamilton cannot afford to do this on the local tax base in any way, shape, or form. We need the province to do what they did in Toronto, what they've done in New York, what they've done for all the Metrolinx projects, and bring 100% funding to the city of Hamilton, make it work.